Okay, speaking of Antarctic and speaking of very large ships, in the last video we did a story about the QM2, the Queen Mary 2, the Cunard ship, and the story was about that she was involved in an accident, or an incident, should I say, in Civitavecchia in Italy, where she drifted after breaking her mooring lines and she almost hit a dock superyacht. And the captain called for assistance with tugboats, dropped his anchor in the water. He did it, from what the information that we have, he did everything he needed to do to get that vessel back under his control. Quite a lot of comments going either way, some of them praising the captain, some of them criticizing, saying they didn't have enough lines, or why did it take so long to get the engines up and running. It's very easy to, you know, what do they call it, Monday morning quarterback a situation when you don't have all the data, don't know how many lines they had on there. And also there was all the other comments about the wind. If they had a lot of wind, they should have put more lines. You can get very sudden gusts of winds, and I've seen those myself where it's been completely calm and then within a minute you're getting winds of gusting up to 50, 60 knots. So it is it's very unusual, but it does happen, and it happens very quickly when it does. Speaking of that story, I seem to have upset quite a lot of people in the comments because I called it a cruise ship and not an ocean liner. Now, there are differences between an ocean liner and a cruise ship. Ocean liners, for instance, they have a longer hull because of the rough weather in the Atlantic when they're making crossings. Have a deeper draft, meaning it sits deeper in the water to help it to be more steady and to be faster with that longer hull. The hull is generally thicker on an ocean liner. They have more powerful engines and stuff, so they can go much faster. The QM2 can do like 28 knots crossing the Atlantic, which is, no cruise ship that I know of that could do those kinds of speed. Now, in their heyday, the ocean liner was a form of transport, such as being used to cross the Atlantic before air travel could do that. I mean, air travel didn't start until the 50s, right? Transatlantic air travel, should I say. And Winston Churchill famously traveled across the Atlantic on the original Queen Mary, the one that's in Long Beach now. He traveled across on that during World War II in secret to meet up with the US president to obviously talk about the war. And also mail was transported on ships, hence the name RMS, Royal Mail Ship. But like I said, people were really quite upset that I called it a cruise ship. One guy even called me an ass.
Hey, you said ass!
Yeah, but I didn't say hole, right? But anyway, that's what he called me. And he said that I should educate myself on the differences between ocean liners and cruise ships. The thing is, I know the differences between the two. I actually spent over a decade working on cruise ships before I moved into the yachting industry. And I've actually traveled to every continent, including the Antarctic, on cruise ships. And just out of curiosity as well, my brother worked on the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth II, for over a decade. So I'm quite aware of the differences. But the thing is, even though the ship is built as an ocean liner, she is for the most part used as a cruise ship. Some things can be two things at once. In this case, it can be an ocean liner and a cruise ship. Now this is the new Ferrari. It's called the Pura Sangue. It's Ferrari's first SUV. But funnily, in a similar way, Ferrari claim it's not actually an SUV, but it's 4x4, it sits up high with 4 doors, but it has a V12 engine with over 700 horsepower and costs $700,000. However, if I use it as a taxi, it's still a taxi, right? So it's a Ferrari SUV, but it's also a taxi. Now, if you go to the Cunard website, you will see that it shows a cruise for the QM2 to cruise New England and Canada. So, they're using it as a cruise ship. So the fact that I call it a cruise ship, it is a cruise ship, but it's also an ocean liner. Anyway, that'll give you something to talk about. For the people who complained, obviously, probably people who frequent the QM2, the next time you're in your formal evening in your tuxedo, you can complain to the captain that Eastman SuperYachts called it a cruise ship and not an ocean liner. Hi, thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a Super Yacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited Super Yacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.